Now I want to go back to how I tested the armature after it was thoroughly cleaned. If you have a copy of Hannon's 2001 book on American Flyer, I think you'll find it very useful. In that, Hannon gives the specifications of all the electrical components, and I don't mean just in general, I mean every single component, every single armature that AC Gilbert American Flyer used. This one, according to Hannon's 2001 book, is a purple wire, and you can actually see the purple wire, so it's a purple wire wrapped armature, and he labeled it the first super armature because it goes in the large motor, the 3/4 inch motor. Each one of these armatures provides some resistance, and you'll want to measure that resistance. If you're hearing claims that this thing is burned out, these tests will help demonstrate whether or not it is. Cleaning might help demonstrate it. Hooking an electrical circuit up to it might demonstrate it, because you might be able to see the burn marks, you might be able to smell it, and you might see smoke. But I have never been convinced or found that, even though some owners claim that, would you please fix my train and replace the armature because I think it's burned out, I've never done that. All I've done is clean these up thoroughly and reinstall them. He provides the measures of resistance that you need between the poles, which are where the wraps are connected to the bars right here. It'll be 3, and the bars. So you can use either one. You can use the poles or the bars to measure resistance. The resistance has to be balanced. In other words, this bar can't have more resistance than the other two, and vice versa, or in any combination. And it must be within a tolerance range that he specifies, that AC Gilbert electronically specified for these armatures. Now, I use a common Radio Shack volt-ohm meter. Very inexpensive. I think it's about $20 if you can still find these. It is, however, analog. I think you get better readings, of course, with a digital, but I've made an analog work. And don't forget that with an analog, you're going to have to adjust the needle. You got to zero it out. And there's 2 zeroing functions, one right here for voltage, and then there's a wheel on the side to zero it out for ohms. And all I did to test everything was, first of all, I tested the resistance from bar to bar. So I touched one probe to one bar, the other probe to one of the adjacent bars, and read and noted the resistance. And then simply moved these around in pairs until I had measured the 3 combinations to see if they were in tolerance, if they were balanced, and then were they in the tolerance range specification. Then I tested the short to shaft. It is possible that the interior of these can be damaged from a lot of things, including heat, cleaning components, some of the bonding material, some of the coatings, that eventually the wire wrap could become shorted to the shaft. So all you do is you touch one of the probes to the shaft, and then the other probe individually to each bar to see if there's a short. Now you can do that by using the audible setting on your volt-ohm meter. And then I did the bar-to-bar short test, and that's where you retouch the bars in pairs, moving around with each combination. There'll be 3 combinations to see if you get the notification with your audible alert that there could be current flow through there. So now usually what could help alleviate that and mitigate it is cleaning the slots. I actually lowered the resistance from bar to bar and pole to pole by cleaning those slots thoroughly. Cleaned them once, noticed the resistance was probably a little bit out of the tolerance range, cleaned them again, and it dropped. So that was his recommendation for one of the most common corrections and improvements on these. And then, of course, the polishing, grinding, and everything else. So we're about ready to start the total reassembly. The only thing I haven't cleaned, because it is my practice not to clean them until I actually need them, is with all the side linkages. And I have those mapped out here, ready to go, and as I need them, I'll clean them.